As soon as Russian propaganda, suffering immeasurable losses, tried to console itself in the early days of the full-scale war.
The tanks are already near Kiev.
5th and most 8th of March.
This war will certainly last, Volodya, at most 3 to 4 days.
We'll raise it to the ground and Ukraine will understand everything.
And there's no need for any lovers.
We'll take Kiev.
In response to this, the Ukrainians raised not an eyebrow but drones. They played a significant role in the liberation of Kiev and Kharkiv, and eventually forced the occupiers to flee from Kherson. Dominating the skies over Ukraine, our UAVs soon began to visit the territory of the occupiers as well. After the first strikes on the Russian Federation, propagandists shouted about it being accidental, and the bunker man hastily announced the future further tightening of Russian air defense.
I want to say that the Moscow air defense system worked as expected satisfactorily, although there is room for improvement. Overall, it's clear what needs to be done to strengthen the capital's air defense, and we will do it.
But what kind of tightening are we talking about if the Russian air defense on the roof of the Ministry of Defense is just a few hundred meters away from the drone? Simply, it missed it. What could have been capable of such a thing, and what is known about the drones that attacked Moscow?
Sergei, let's go along the edges, not... Let's king us up first.
Moscow, Arkhangelsk.
You know, I'm afraid they won't indeed perhaps reach Arkhangelsk.
For now, Stepanenko, you are right, and I have books. So for now, meet the Beaver, the unofficial name of the new Ukrainian drone. It is most likely the one keeping Moscow and the entire Kremlin leadership in fear. Little is known about it, everything is kept secret, but we will try to lift the veil on the new favorite of Ukrainians. Military experts assure that the Beaver belongs to the class of aircraft known as Duck. They are characterized by a small front wing ahead of the main one. This gives the domestic UAV its distinctive shape, but ordinary people can recognize it thanks to an interesting feature. It literally flies almost as if backwards.
Look, right above our house, bro, right above our house, it's flying right at me. Look. Look. Look, brother.
Do you see? There's Roma.
It belongs to the category of autonomous flying devices. It has a program installed. It is very well acquainted with cartography. It has flight direction support. That is, it receives the program in advance, knows where to fly. It has excellent terrain following capabilities, and it is least likely that it is controlled by an operator.
Such models have been made in the world for a long time, but the point is not novelty, but efficiency. Russia has nothing to counter such a drone, except perhaps the Iranian Shahed. Overall, the characteristics of these two loitering munitions are similar. The flight range is up to 1,000 kilometers. The body length is 2.5 meters for the Bobber and 3 meters for the Shahed. The wings are 2.5 and 2 meters respectively. The Shahed can carry a load of 50 kilograms, while the Bobber can carry up to 20. However, the Ukrainian drone wins with a speed of up to 200 kilometers, whereas the Iranian one can fly no faster than 170 kilometers. Another important difference is that the Russians buy Iranian drones. That is, whatever official Tehran has, that's what will be available. And after the recent quarrel between the allies, the issue of supplies is up in the air. But the Bobber is a Ukrainian project. That means domestic developers will be modifying the drone. And soon likely the Bobber will outdo the Shaheds. The fact that Ukrainians are not waiting several years to implement new modifications is demonstrated by another Ukrainian drone. It was named after the Ukrainian ataman Ivan Sirko. The drone has been in service for weeks, since it was adopted by the armed forces of Ukraine. However, the developers are already preparing to present a new model. What is so remarkable about yet another Ukrainian drone? Hint, it's so good that it might dethrone the well-known Mavic.
In terms of specifications, it surpasses the Mavic 3 and Mavic 3 Pro, undoubtedly for the armed forces of Ukraine. This is equipment, this is a drone. It is simply essential. The drone is easy to find.
The Sirko drone is a reconnaissance drone. It is capable of locating the enemy at a distance of 65 kilometers and returning back. If the enemy is within 25 kilometers, the drone can stream video to the operator. Moreover, the drone is very small, making it less noticeable to the enemy. Its wingspan is approximately only 90 centimeters in total length.
This little plane is a Scout. It is very small, 90 centimeters, the size of the wing. It is very light, weighing no more than 1.5 kilograms with the case and everything else. It flies quite far, but not 100 kilometers or 50. We have chosen our area of operation, 0 to 30, meaning from 0 to 30 kilometers to the front line. This is the most intense zone where the most events occur.
When the drone takes off, it becomes completely invisible in the sky, and it is also almost completely silent thanks to the use of an electric motor. It is almost impossible for radar systems to detect it. This is all thanks to the material from which the drone is made and the small size of the UAV. But if it is suddenly spotted and a so-called jammer is used, it is not a problem for Sirko. According to the developers, the advanced and sophisticated drone can continue its mission without using GPS navigation.
Here is the payload compartment. Look, you can see the camera. Here is the encoder, then the battery pack with special devices, and the instrument compartment, let's call it that, with the brains.
The Sirko can fly for 2 hours. However, the developers intentionally state the flight time as 90 minutes so that the operator knows when it's time to return to base. Another advantage of the drone is its indifference to landing conditions. The material it is made from is quite durable. It is not even afraid of falling from a height. Launching it is also not a problem.
Launch is exclusively from a rubber band. Most of our systems are automated. This does not eliminate the possibility of manual intervention during the flight. It allows you to fly by indicating to the machine what you want, how you want, to the left, to the right. But the angle at which to turn is decided by the machine's automation itself. This is called stabilized flight.
The developers assure that there is the capacity to produce 1,000 such drones per month. This is only regarding Sirko. Let's not forget about the production of loitering munitions bobber. But these are not the only drones that will haunt the occupiers. Ukrainian scouts have not been left out either. The GUR also announced a reconnaissance drone that can take on the role of a fire corrector. The new drone has already been sent to the combat zone for testing. And we have a feeling that the Russians won't be hearing about it for the last time. We will tell you about this and other Ukrainian developments in the next episodes. So subscribe to our channel, like, and don't forget to comment on this video. Your opinion is very important to us. See you in the next episodes of Arsenal.